Tsunade stood in the middle of the Chunin exam stadium as she looked between the two others on the stadium floor with her. Violet eyes and golden blonde hair stood opposing green eyes and bright, pink hair. It was Naruto versus Sakura. Tsunade raised her hand and then swung it down, signaling the start of the spar between the two. "Hajime!" said Tsunade as she jumped back into the stands beside Shizune, Kakashi, and Jiraiya. Naruto and Sakura didn't move as a gentle breeze fluttered through the arena. Naruto stood grinning at Sakura as she scoffed at his nonchalant attitude toward her. "I could care less that he's an S-rank shinobi. I've trained to be able to walk beside Naruto and Sasuke-kun for almost 4 years. I'll just have to show him that I can," thought Sakura as she took out 4 kunai. Sakura placed 2 in each hand as she flung them all at the still smiling Naruto. Naruto took one of his tri-pronged kunai out of his ninja pouch as he easily deflected the kunai. As Naruto blocked the kunai though, small squares of paper broke off the end of them and fluttered around Naruto. Naruto realized that the pieces of paper were actually explosive notes and Sakura was holding a half-ram seal. Sakura smirked at Naruto as she channeled her chakra. Boom! A massive explosion rocked the area around Naruto as debris and smoke kicked up everywhere. Once the dust settled, Naruto was nowhere to be found. Left, right, up, behind. That just leaves, thought Sakura, checking each direction before raising a fist into the air, eerily similar to Tsunade. Sakura let out a grunt of effort as she swung her fist into the ground. As soon as her fist hit the ground, the stadium trembled uncontrollably as giant cracks began to form all over the field. "Found you," said Sakura as Naruto could now be seen due to Sakura's efforts. Of course she has Bakon's superhuman strength, thought Naruto as he performed a shunshin and appeared before Sakura. "Let's test that taijutsu." Sakura was prepared for Naruto's quick movement and lashed out with a quick fist. Naruto landed in front of Sakura, only to have to dodge the fist as Sakura continued swinging at him with fists in hopes of connecting once. "Only one punch and it's over, Naruto," said Sakura with a punch coming at every word. She continued attacking Naruto with punches and kicks but didn't come close to touching him. Naruto continued to smile as he pulled out another kunai. Sakura threw out another fist only to stop halfway when she realized she would hit the business end of Naruto's kunai. "But that doesn't matter if you can't hit the person in the first place," said Naruto as he kicked Sakura in the stomach to send her skidding back over the rocky terrain. Naruto then placed his hands in the tiger seal. "Let's test that genjutsu," thought Naruto as he channeled his technique. "Kokwanjio no Jutsu, bringer of darkness technique," thought Naruto. Sakura tensed seeing Naruto hold a hand seal and was prepared for an attack. As Sakura tensed, she noticed an eerie black spreading out over the field around her, actually spreading out everywhere. The darkness eventually shrouded her completely as she could see nothing but pitch black. Sakura recognized it was a genjutsu, but as she attempted to dispel it, she received a harsh kick to her stomach, the same place as before. Sakura was sent skidding back just like last time as she heard Naruto's voice seemingly come from everywhere. "I won't let you get out of this technique by dispelling it, that's if you could dispel it. And as you can see, pain doesn't help either. What will you do, Sakura-chan?" drawled out Naruto. Sakura tried to dispel it again only to get kicked in the same spot again, except a little harder. "Calm down, Sakura," thought Sakura as she stood up and closed her eyes. "If he won't let me dispel it and pain doesn't release this genjutsu then." Sakura went to place her hands in the ram seal in another attempt to dispel the genjutsu. Naruto shook his head slightly and attempted to kick her again, only to get decked by a chakra-enhanced punch. The genjutsu around Sakura disappeared immediately as her fist was planted firmly into Naruto's abdomen. Naruto was sent flying back into the Chunin exam stadium wall and upon contact, reverted into wood. Sakura turned to her left to see another Naruto materialize there with a smile on his face, pretending to try and dispel it, only to punch me and free yourself by hitting the caster. "Good on ya," said Naruto. "I was fighting a clone the whole time?" questioned Sakura as Naruto nodded. "You must have made the switch when you went underground," said Sakura as she went through several hand seals. Sakura finished her hand seals as she looked at Naruto. Naruto flared his chakra, cracking the ground around him slightly, dispelling the genjutsu Sakura attempted to place him under. Sakura-chan, my chakra's too powerful for genjutsu of that level. Shall we move on to Shinobi Tactics number 3? Said Naruto as Sakura ran through several hand seals again. In the stands, wow! I've seen how strong Sakura has gotten over the last few years, and I know how good she is, said Shizun. But to see her getting toyed with by Naruto-kun is amazing. How strong is he, Jiraiya-sama? Jiraiya simply smiled. Well, I'm not too sure. Between his Mokuton and the Nine Tails, not to mention his already impressive abilities without those two, I don't think anyone in Konoha would be able to face him and win. Even I or Tsunadeheim would have a tough go at him. Kid's good, said Jiraiya. Not to mention Sage Mode. I really don't know what the kid is truly capable of. Kakashi's Sharingan was out as he was watching the two fight. Jiraiya-sama is right. Naruto hasn't even been using chakra besides that earlier Shunshin and Genjutsu. Not even chakra to enhance his speed. Meaning that was pure speed to get away from Sakura. Plus he was a clone anyway. A clone I couldn't distinguish with my eye, said Kakashi. And now they are about to get into a ninjutsu fight. Naruto's favorite kind of fight. Back to the fight. Sakura went through hand seals quickly as she then held her hands out. Chakra coated her hands as Naruto recognized it as Chakura no Mezu, chakra scalpels. Sakura came back at Naruto with more speed as she swiped at the blonde. But like before, Naruto dodged each strike with ease. This time, however, Naruto began to hit her back. Sakura sent out a left-hand palm strike only for Naruto to duck it and tag her in the stomach with a punch. Naruto then kicked Sakura in the stomach again as she was sent skidding back farther than before. His taijutsu is flawless. No movement is wasted and his attacks are so powerful. And I'm sure he's not hitting me as hard as he could either, thought Sakura as she held a green glowing hand over her abdomen to heal herself. Sakura then stood up as she ran through 3 hand seals before placing one by her mouth. Naruto merely placed his hands in the snake seal ready to end this fight. Suetun, Mizurappa, water style, water trumpet, said Sakura as she spewed out a torrent of fast water at Naruto. Naruto smiled seeing that Sakura had an affinity for water. Too bad that just happened to be one of the worst chakra natures to have against him. Water grows wood and as such would be weak against it. Mokuton, Kajikai Korin, with style. Advent of a world of flowering trees. Thought Naruto as trees sprouted in front of him, completely blocking Sakura's technique and eventually rushing out at her, despite the impressive onslaught of trees coming at her. Sakura managed to dodge all of them with medic nin agility. But as she was dodging, Sakura noticed that on the ends of the trees were giant, orange flowers. The flowers then bloomed as they spewed out a ton of pollen. Pollen? Thought Sakura until she fell to her knees. The pollen renders any target unconscious. Should have known that. Before Sakura could hit the ground, Naruto appeared beside her in a Shunshin while placing his hand on the ground. Naruto forced his trees to recede along with the pollen in the air as he grabbed Sakura before she could face plant into the ground below. Naruto then took Sakura up to the stands to get her woken up by Tsunade's medical jutsu. Good spar. Even though we really didn't see much from Naruto, said Tsunade as she placed a green glowing hand over Sakura to get rid of Naruto's technique. To think he'd be able to use Gigi's technique like that with such ease. How strong are you? Thought Tsunade as Jiraiya patted Naruto on the back. My apprentice kicked Tsunade's apprentice's ass, said Jiraiya with an arm around a now grinning Naruto. Now all you have to do is whip Sasuke's ass and that'll mean I'm a better teacher than my teammates, the other two Sannin. Well, technically, I already am if you consider our first students. Minato definitely trumps Shizun and Kabuto. I take offense to that, said Shizun as she turned away from Jiraiya. Jiraiya realized his mistake and tried to correct it by trying to console Shizun, but to no avail as she was hearing none of that. Well, I'm interested in seeing what all you can do, Naruto. But I'd prefer it not against me, said Kakashi, eye smiling at his ex-student. Naruto was about to speak until he felt a burning sensation come from his left bicep. It was his umbu tattoo glowing a bright red as Naruto tensed realizing what it meant. Invasion, said Naruto. disappearing in a flicker of movement. The burning sensation from Naruto's Umbu tattoo was a distress signal from an overrun Umbu squad that sent the message to any Umbu in Konoha. In case of an attack on the village, it was Umbu protocol to send out a signal to alert the village if you confront the attackers beforehand. Naruto arrived at the south gate since that was where the enemy shinobi should be coming from based on the message's details. Naruto scanned the area out in front of him, only to see no other shinobi coming. Was that just a test? Thought Naruto, not sensing any shinobi approaching. No, your ability with negative emotion sensing is good but not as good as mine. There are enemies. Hundreds of them, said Kurama as Naruto nodded his head, taking his Bijuu's warning. Naruto placed his hands in the ram seal. Tajumoku Bunshin no Jutsu, multiple wood clone technique, said Naruto as dozens of wood protrusions stuck up from the ground and eventually turned into Naruto's. Evacuate the citizens if you can, if not, protect them. Go! Naruto's clones immediately took off without a word, listening to their original. After creating his clones, Naruto bit his thumb to summon his favorite toad companion. Kuchios, said Naruto as a huge plume of smoke billowed out. Once the smoke cleared, Naruto stood atop Gamakichi's head. Gamakichi was wearing a large blue vest with the kanji for oil written on the back. Gamakichi also had a large tanto strapped to his side and was blowing out the smoke from the cigarette in his mouth. Yo! What you need, bro? Said Gamakichi in a deep voice as Naruto's eyes bulged out of his head. What? Naruto shook his head slightly. I still can't get over that you're as big as Gamabunta now. Toads grow fast, said Naruto as Gamakichi smirked. Heh, we trained together for 6 months and now you want to get surprised by my growth? Asked Gamakichi, shaking his head in amusement at Naruto. I'm not getting you or that blonde lady more of my dad's sake if this is what this is about. I almost got caught last time and even then I still got punished. Hey, that wasn't my fault. Gamatatsu is an idiot and you know it. So don't blame me for your brother's lack of any cognitive functions, said Naruto back to Gamakichi. It was totally your fault. You summoned him and didn't give him candy. So he kept chasing me around asking if I gave you his share of candy because you told him I had it, said Gamakichi. What? It wasn't my fault he showed up the first time instead of you. That's your fault for not answering the call right away. Then he wouldn't leave me alone even after I summoned you, so I had to make him go somehow. But even then you shouldn't have been so slow getting back on's booze. I sent him back a whole 10 minutes later and he still messed you up. That's your fault, slowpoke. Naruto. Came the voice of Kurama, growing irritated at Naruto and Gamakichi's talking. You do realize that there is an invasion coming, said Kurama, getting Naruto out of his back and forth with Gamakichi. And another thing, started Gamakichi again until he felt hundreds of chakra signatures enter his field of perception and they were approaching fast. Naruto, I may be going delusional or maybe my sensor abilities with Senjutsu are going haywire right now. But please tell me those are friendly chakra signatures approaching at rapid speed, said Gamakichi as Naruto shook his head. No, that's definitely enemies, said Naruto as appearing over a hill were hundreds, at least over 300 specks approaching Konoha. And they can fly. Gamakichi, we have to tell Byakuchan. Gamakichi took off in a mighty leap as he headed toward the heart of Konoha in search of Tsunade. In the village, 10 minutes prior, invasion, said Naruto as he disappeared in a flicker of movement. Tsunade, Jiraiya, Shizune, Kakashi, and the now conscious Sakura stood still for a second until they realized that Naruto was serious. An invasion was coming and they all had a job to do. One of those was to hand out orders and Tsunade was ready to do it. Sakura, head to the hospital. I need you there in case our shinobi get injured. Shizune, go and sound the alarm for a level 3 emergency. Kakashi and Jiraiya with me, said Tsunade as she handed out orders to those around her. Go! The 5 were off to their individual tasks as Tsunade, Jiraiya, and Kakashi headed to the top of the Hokage Tower. Shortly after their arrival, they heard the loud wailing siren of Konoha's alarm system that broke the peaceful tranquility of Konoha in an instant. The inhabitants of Konoha all froze as the siren blared extremely loud for a full 5 seconds before dying down. Shinobi immediately began to flood the streets as Shizen's calm voice sounded out over the village's intercom system to give out directions. Attention! A Level 3 emergency has been declared. This is not a drill. All combat personnel is to attend their defense stations. All non-combat personnel is to evacuate the village through the underground tunnel system. Seek immediate assistance if you are unable to evacuate by yourself. I repeat, a Level 3 emergency has been declared. This is not a drill. All combat personnel are to attend their defense stations. All non-combat personnel is to evacuate the village through the underground tunnel system. Seek immediate assistance if you are unable to evacuate by yourself. Shizun's voice continued to permeate the air as she repeated those same lines. The once calm village was now a flurry of movement as tens of thousands of people were moving according to the directions handed out. Tsunade looked around internally happy that all of her shinobi and civilians were handling themselves well in the face of an emergency. Several figures then landed on the roof of the Hokage Tower with her, Jiraiya, and Kakashi as they attended their own stations. Shikaku Nara, Konoha's Jonin commander, landed near Tsunade to help lead Konoha's defense. Next to him was his son, Shikamaru Nara, as he proved himself useful in planning just like his father. The two normally lazy Naras had unnaturally sharp faces as they prepared to dish out defense strategies for the impending attack. Not a second after those two, four other figures appeared on the platform consisting of 3 of Konoha's Umbu captains and Konoha's Umbu commander. The last figure to appear on the platform was Konoha's latest Umbu captain, Gamma. He was decked out in his Umbu gear, complete with his Gamma mask already on his face. He had arrived jumping off of Gamakichi's head, who landed next to the tower, allowing him to get off. Upon arriving, Gamma spoke.
Hokage-sama.
There are at least 300 shinobis headed toward the village, and they are flying in on a device that resembles wings, said Gamma as Tsunade immediately realized who the enemy was. Sky Country, said Tsunade. So it's come to this again. Sky Country has returned as they are the only shinobi I know to have technology advanced enough to provide aerial assaults in the masses. Seems the cycle continues, said Jiraiya as Shikamaru posed a question. The cycle continues? Does that mean that we've faced them in battle before? Said Shikamaru as he was already formulating strategies in his head based on the information given. If my memory serves correct, said Shikaku, who was also formulating strategies at a rapid pace. They were a pretty large group of shinobi who entered the Second World War trying to overthrow the 5 great nations. Upon entering, though, they were soundly defeated by Konoha some 4 decades ago. If this really is Sky Country, then yes, we can expect them to use highly advanced technology to supplement their offensive power. Not to mention they've had over 40 years to advance it, so be prepared for that. No one challenges a village unless they believe they can win. So in essence, their firepower must be tremendous to want to attack Konoha with only 300 ninjas, said Kakashi, who despite slouching slightly still looked alert and ready to strike at a moment's notice. How are we going to combat this? The platform was quiet for a few seconds until Jiraiya spoke up. Why not let history repeat itself? Shikaku looked at Jiraiya dumbfounded as he had been racking his brain through hundreds of different scenarios when one was already there. Weather the storm and then eliminate them without prejudice. If that's the case, we'll need a Hyuga. Right, Commander? Gather your Umbu and place them at choke points outside of the village to help assist the border patrol shinobi in the first phase of the defense, said Tsunade. The Umbu commander disappeared without a sound or flicker of movement as if he was never there. His Umbu captains all disappeared with him as they prepared to defend their home, including Gamakichi since he was Gamma's summon and left to aid him. Kakashi, find me a Hyuga and Aburame as they will be tasked with the return assault team along with you, Jiraiya, Shikamaru, and eventually Naruto. Kakashi disappeared in a puff of smoke as he went out on his assignment. Jiraiya, you'll be in the village taking out as many as you can to keep them from damaging the village too much, said Tsunade as Jiraiya nodded and jumped off the tower while biting his thumb. Kuchios no Jutsu, summoning technique, said Jiraiya as 2 massive toads appeared. A blue toad with dual swords strapped to his back and a purple toad with a samsara and shield. Jiraiya addressed his 2 summons upon the smoke clearing. Invasion. Sky Country. Can I get you guys assistance? Asked Jiraiya, landing on the purple toad's head. Of course, Jiraiya-sama. Though I may be a little clumsy, spoke the purple toad, Gamakin. Without a doubt, said the blue toad, Gamahiro. Jiraiya smiled. After a brief handing out of orders, the two toads of Mount Mayaboku disappeared into the corners of the village that were facing where the ninja would be approaching from. Tsunade then turned to the last two on the platform with her. And finally, I need Shikaku to help guide the defense while Shikamaru figures out where the enemy is. Use Inoichi's Shininshin no Jutsu mind-body transmission technique, if you have to, so you can get the message to everyone all at once. And Shikamaru, they use their chakra through their devices to help them fly, meaning that they'll probably use up just enough to allow full assault on the village while maintaining just enough to get back to where they came from. That's what the Hyuga will be for. He'll tell you how much chakra drains, and from that I'm sure you can handle it from there. The two Naras nodded their heads as they waited for Kakashi's imminent arrival with the two shinobi for the return assault team. Sending out Jiraiya and Naruto would already be overkill if the Sky Ninja only had 300 shinobi. Not to mention the fact that Kakashi will be there as well along with his son and the two trackers. I'm assuming you'll be on the battlefield, Hokage-sama? Said Shikaku as Tsunade bit her thumb. Of course, said Tsunade as she summoned Katsuyu. We have work to do. Tsunade jumped on her summons head as they headed to the front lines for the arrival of the flying shinobi. With Naruto, this is outrageous, said a beat-up Gamakichi as several more Sky Ninja approached him. On top of Gamakichi's head was a maskless and wore-out-looking Naruto. Naruto lost his mask due to one of the Sky Ninja's bombs detonating near him and blowing it off his face. Naruto was also missing the upper right half of his Umbu uniform in the struggle against the Sky Ninja's assault. Yeah, it is. If this has taught me anything, I need to work on my long-range attacks because this sucks. Kichi, bring the fire, said Naruto as he put his hands in the ram seal. Gamma Udon, toad oil bullet, said Naruto as he fired out a spew of high-speed oil at the approaching Sky Ninja. Gamakichi fired off a torrent of flames as it combined with Naruto's oil bullet. Katan, Gameuenden, fire style, toad flame bombs, said Naruto as the oil and fire tore off into the several approaching Sky Ninja, burning them alive. As their smoldering carcasses fell to the ground, Naruto looked around to see all the destruction that was caused by the Sky Ninja's assault. The Sky Ninja's air raid was surprisingly strong as they took out over 200 of Konoha's shinobis. The Sky Ninjas flew in and decimated them with kunai launchers, which fired kunai out at a rapid pace of 20 per second, while also dropping very potent bombs now and then. The death rate would have been more if it hadn't been for Tsunade's help on the field and Sakura's efforts in the hospital. Not to mention Shikaku's instructions through Inoichi's jutsu was a big help as well. The village had been destroyed slightly due to the assault, but luckily there had been no civilian casualties due to the quick evacuation of them. If those Umbu hadn't gotten that message to us, I don't know how many more lives would have been lost today, said Naruto as Gamakichi's summoning time ended and he disappeared in a puff of smoke. Naruto looked to the sky to see the Sky Ninja heading back to where they came from. The Sky Ninja hadn't come away without some losses in their air raid, but not nearly as much as Konoha. They lost a little over 1/5 of their ninjas and were probably heading back to recharge for a return. Jiraiya landed next to Naruto as they were ready to return fire on the retreating Sky Ninja. Kakashi had found Niji and Shino and enlisted their help in the return assault squad. Those three and Shikamaru had already left to face off against the Sky Ninjas. Niji had become a Jonin recently along with Shikamaru, and Sakura as Shino had been promoted a while ago along with Naruto, meaning that the assault squad consisted of 5 Jonin and a Sannin, with one of the Jonin being a current Umbu captain and Jinchuriki of the Nine Tails. An angry Kyuubi Jinchuriki. You ready to go, Naruto? It's time, said Jiraiya as Naruto locked eyes with his sensei. Jiraiya could see the anger behind Naruto's violet eyes and knew that it would not be pretty for the Sky Ninja. Yes. Did we already figure out where they are? Said Naruto, tearing off the rest of his top, leaving him shirtless. Jiraiya nodded his head. If Shikamaru's calculations are correct, they are a little over 10 miles away. The other 4 have already left. We're behind them, said Jiraiya as he noticed red markings appear on Naruto's face. Jiraiya realized Naruto was entering Sage mode as his eyes shined a vibrant gold. Every wound on Naruto's body, even slight bruises and burn marks, disappeared and regenerated immediately due to his entering Sage mode. "Let's go," said Naruto as he took off at a rapid speed. Far faster than Jiraiya had ever seen before, and it looked as though he wasn't even trying. Luckily, Jiraiya was one of the Sannin and had the ability to keep up with Naruto, but even he was having a hard time. About 7 miles into the sprint, Naruto felt a massive spike in chakra. Naruto looked to his right to see what appeared to be a giant fortress beginning to take off. Naruto could feel a large amount of chakra coming from the fortress as he looked to Jiraiya. "Go ahead, kid. I'll go back up the others," said Jiraiya as he left to continue to where Shikamaru told him to go. Naruto took off in a dead sprint at the now beginning to lift off ship. Right before it could get all the way off the ground, Naruto jumped extremely high in the air to land on the side of it. Upon landing, Naruto was greeted by a dozen sky ninja. "What the? How did you get up here?" said a sky nin as he picked up his kunai launcher to fire at Naruto. Naruto stood about 10 feet away from the ninja as he put his finger on the trigger. Right before the ninja's finger pulled back, he heard a swirling noise behind him. "Rasengan," said Naruto, smashing his jutsu into the back of the ninja before he could pull the trigger. Naruto performed a shunshin to appear behind the ninja with teleportation-like speed. Naruto then began to rapidly shunshin behind the other 11 shinobi as he continued to hit each of them with a newly created Rasengan. Rasen Senko Cho Rinbu Kozen Shiki, Spiraling Flash Super Round Dance Howl Participate Formula, said Naruto as the 12 shinobi each got blasted by a Rasengan to their backs seemingly simultaneously as Naruto was already making his way into the ship. "Your father may be a gifted shinobi, but he sucks at naming techniques," said Kurama as Naruto took off toward the biggest chakra signature on the ship, ripping through any sky shinobi in his way with ease. Though in Sage mode, your speed with the Shunshin is amplified to the max, making it appear as if you can teleport since you can rapid-fire it without killing your body from the constant high-speed movement. It's not as fast as the Hiraishin, but definitely a nice substitute. "What? That name is cool? Anyway, the big chakra signature is on the other side of this room," thought Naruto as he held out 2 palms in front of him. Rasengan Barrage," said Naruto, creating 2 Rasengans at the same time in each palm. Naruto then smashed through the wall as he landed in what appeared to be a throne room. "Hello, Naruto Senju," came the voice of a man sitting on a throne as he looked at Naruto. "It is a pleasure to meet you, and it'll be even better as you'll be the perfect opponent for what I need." Naruto landed in the room and looked at the man that spoke to him. He was a tall man with long black hair and a beard to match with thick eyebrows. He had no shirt on as you could see his bulging muscle tone. "Based on your appearance, I'd assume you just changed as there is a shirt torn up behind you, which suggests that it burst due to rapid body growth. Who are you?" questioned Naruto, still in Sage mode, only in his umbu pants and shoes, as he could feel the man's chakra. The man gave Naruto an arrogant look. "I am a king. I am the Sky Country's emperor, Shino," said the man as he laughed slightly at Naruto. "And you will be the first Konoha shinobi to fall before I destroy your village with the power of dark chakra." Naruto heard Kurama scoff in his head at the phrase, "dark chakra." "What's going on, Kurama? Do you know anything about dark chakra? 'Cause from what I can feel through Sage mode, it's pretty powerful," said Naruto internally to his 9-tailed partner. "It's called the Rabi Zero Tails. It is a malevolent spirit, created from the dark thoughts and feelings of downtrodden people. I remember Mito talking about it while I inhabited her body. It was supposedly sealed in the Land of Sky all those years ago when Konoha defeated them, but I'm guessing that it's been brought back by this guy," said Kurama as Naruto looked at Shino. "Dark chakra is powerful, better than anything in existence," said Shino from behind Naruto as he had got there with speed. He threw a punch at Naruto only for Naruto to turn his body, parrying the punch with the right side of his body during the spin, and lash out with a heel kick to Shino's chin. Shino was lifted off the ground and sent into the wall behind him as Naruto put his foot down. "I'll admit that the chakra you're using is powerful," said Naruto as he pointed to the markings on his face. "But you must have not heard of Senjutsu, Sage techniques. Senjutsu? Said Shino as his face healed from Naruto's powerful kick. No matter. As you can see, I have the ultimate rebirth technique. No matter how much you damage me, I will always heal from any injuries. And you'll eventually run out of senjutsu while I'll still be able to keep going. My chakra feeds off of the darkness in people's hearts. Just like the darkness in your own. Where you couldn't save your friend, Sasuke, is it? Naruto's eyes widened slightly at that bit of information. How do you know about Sasuke? That mission was never officially recorded, nor has he been considered a missing nin. So how could you know about that? Said Naruto as Shino laughed. The darkness in your heart told me, said Shino as he charged back in at Naruto with more speed than before. Shino came to a stop in front of Naruto as he threw out a flurry of jabs at Naruto. Naruto dodged the strikes as he then brought up both hands to block Shino's roundhouse kick. Naruto gripped Shino's leg as he did a leg sweep of Shino's other leg. Naruto then spun around several times with Shino before flinging him through his throne chair and into the wall behind it. Shino laughed as his wounds healed again before crawling out of the wall. As Shino was coming out of the wall, he saw a giant blue ball appear to his right. Shino had no time to dodge as his entire right side felt the full force of the enormous blue sphere in Naruto's hand. Senpo, Otama Rasengan, Sage Technique, Big Ball Rasengan, said Naruto as he let his jutsu explode outward, blasting Shino through the wall to his right. Naruto waited with bated breath as he wondered if that last jutsu killed him. Naruto, do you feel that? Said Kurama, noticing someone else approaching the room. Naruto nodded his head as he let his sage mode dissipate, having already felt the person approaching the room. Shino came walking back through the wall. Thank you, Naruto. This is perfect. Did you know that the more you damage and repair a muscle, the bigger it can grow? Due to all the damage you've caused me, I've become even stronger than before, said Shino as he noticed that Naruto's sage mode markings had disappeared. And it seems you've run out of your special chakra. What will you do now? This is sudden, but Orochimaru wants your power. Came the smooth voice of a 6-foot-tall ninja standing behind Shino. The ninja had on a black shirt with a raised collar that was open slightly and gray pants that went into black shinobi sandals. The ninja also had on black forearm bracers and a white, rope-like belt around his waist that held a Chikudo sword with blackguards. The most noticeable trait about the ninja was the Uchiha clan crest on the back of his shirt and the pair of blood-red eyes, signs of the Sharingan. Shino didn't even notice the ninja appear behind him. Who are you? Said Shino to the ninja behind him. Yo. Sasuke, said Naruto as he looked towards Sasuke. Sasuke looked at Naruto as the two locked eyes. Sasuke's eyes spun quickly as they morphed into the Mangekyo. Tsukuyomi? Thought Sasuke. In a pitch-black world, Naruto was dragged into a pitch-black world where his body was inverted in colors. Naruto looked around the world slightly as he noticed he was in a genjutsu. Sasuke knows that I can easily get out of genjutsu? Even with this technique, I'd still be able to get out of this. Thought Naruto as he channeled his chakra, cracking the pitch-black area that he was in. Naruto was prepared to do it again until he broke the genjutsu, but Sasuke's voice stopped him. Naruto, wait. There's something I need to tell you? Said Sasuke, appearing in the field next to Naruto beside his Susanoo. Do you know the reason why I left the village? Because if not, then I'll tell you right now, as I hope you remember your promise of helping me. Naruto shook his head no. Yes, I remember what I promised you I'd do whenever you went after Itachi. But I always knew there was a reason that you left the village, since that squad of Umbu attacked me before I could leave. Was it an S-rank mission that Bei-chan sent you on? Said Naruto to Sasuke. You're right that it was an S-rank mission, but Hokage-sama didn't sanction it, said Sasuke as Naruto looked confused. What do you know about Root? Real world. 10 minutes passed in the Tsukuyomi world as only a second in the real world passed as Naruto nodded his head towards Sasuke. Sasuke nodded back as Shino began talking. Sasuke Uchiha? As in the friend that Naruto lost? The irony of this situation is unreal, said Shino laughing. Orochimaru wants my power again? What if I say no? Are you going to drag me there? Said Shino. Sasuke kicked Shino into the rubble of his throne chair that he had been thrown through earlier. "If that's what you want me to do," said Sasuke as Shino stood up again. Shino ran at Sasuke as Sasuke merely sidestepped the punch. Shino then turned around with an overhead axe punch only to freeze mid-punch. "Genjutsu, Sharingan," said Sasuke, paralyzing Shino with mere eye contact. Shino struggled to move as Sasuke slowly put his hands in the tiger seal. "Katan, Goryuka no Jutsu, fire style, great fire dragon technique," said Sasuke as he blew out a giant dragon of fire that engulfed Shino and blasted him into the wall. Shino laid smoking in the now blackened area of the wall due to Sasuke's jutsu. "You think all of my dark chakra is gone? There are plenty of twisted hearts in this world," said Shino, stepping out of the wall with severe burn marks all over him. "Then show us that power again," said Sasuke. Shino stood back up fully and obliged Sasuke's request. Shino began to channel his chakra as his body regenerated, only for him to drop to both of his knees and cough violently. Shino's hair turned white and fell out as he turned into an old, fragile man. "What did you do to me?" questioned Shino as he seemed to have lost all of his dark chakra. Sasuke's Sharingan spun slightly. "I used my eyes to see the flow of your chakra. I guess you didn't feel my Chidori Senbon, Chidori needles, hit you back then," said Sasuke as Shino looked on confused, trying to remember. Shino cocked his head up as it hit him. "When I walked back into the room." "I see. So you disrupted my control over my chakra through my pressure points," said Shino. "I'm not going to kill you. Orochimaru needs your power and I'm taking you back to him," said Sasuke as Shino stood back up. "Orochimaru is probably after this." "Not me," said Shino as he ran his finger along the wall behind his throne. A secret compartment opened up and he grabbed the scroll inside and tossed it to Sasuke. Right after tossing it to Sasuke, Shino pulled the lever that was situated behind the scroll to drop down into a secret chamber. Sasuke snagged the scroll as he looked at Naruto and the two nodded to each other. The two disappeared and appeared in front of a wall of the Sky Fortress. Naruto and Sasuke stood staring at the wall in front of them as if they were waiting for something. "You can blow through that wall at any time, you know," said Sasuke as Naruto scoffed slightly. "PSSH. Use your Chidori and cut through it. I've done all the heavy lifting before you came. You just threw a couple of electric needles in a dude's back. What makes you think I want to do all the work? This is all you at this point," said Naruto as Sasuke scoffed back. "Shut the hell up. Give me control. I'll do it myself," said Kurama in Naruto's head. Naruto's whisker marks deepened and his eyes took on a red appearance with slit irises as he smiled a sinister grin. "Back up, Uchiha boy. I'm going to blow this wall to smithereens," said Kurama through Naruto as he had been given control. Sasuke merely stepped back as the Kurama-controlled Naruto clapped his hands together. "Katan, Kitsune Hoka, fire style, fox fire," said Kurama as he blew out a violent and powerful stream of fire at the wall in front of them. The fire blew through the wall with ease as it continued all the way, making a small tunnel. That felt good. Naruto got back control of his body as he shivered slightly. "That always feels weird," said Naruto as he coughed up a bit of soot from Kurama breathing fire. "How do you deal with the ash in your mouth after expelling a fire technique?" questioned Naruto while he and Sasuke took off down the tunnel that leads to where they could feel Shino's chakra. Sasuke merely laughed as they arrived at the end of the tunnel. The two shinobis noticed Shino standing in a chamber under a yellow fetus-like object. "That's the Rabi. It's trapped inside that yellow substance as it's probably being used to power this fortress," said Kurama to Naruto as he nodded his head. Sasuke powered up a Chidori only for it to dissipate and get absorbed by the Rabi. Shino laughed as he finally took notice of the two. "You two are fools for coming all the way here. This place collects all the chakra that the Rabi has gathered and converts it into energy. This is the Sky Country's ultimate weapon, the Anchor Vantion," shouted Shino. "And now that you two are here, your chakra is being absorbed for use in the Anchor Vantion, rendering you two powerless." Naruto and Sasuke landed in the chamber with Shino. "I'm guessing the Anchor Vantion has some super weapon on it that can destroy mountains or something along those lines," said Naruto. "But even if our chakra is being absorbed, that means that yours is as well. We'll still kick your ass, said Sasuke as Shino laughed again. Did you think I came all the way down here just to have my chakra absorbed? Said Shino as his dark chakra seeped into the Rabi. The Rabi then attached yellow arms around Shino as it dragged him into its body. With the power of the Bijou, we have the ultimate weapon. As Shino said that, the Rabi glowed a bright yellow along with the substance as the walls around them glowed white with kanji. Outside, the ship shot off a burst of energy that soared through the air, passing through a nearby mountain with ease. In a bay. You were right, Shikamaru. There they are, said Kakashi as he, Shikamaru, Shino, and Niji all stood opposing the 8 ships in the bay that housed the Sky Ninjas. Well, it was simple math, said Shikamaru lazily as he got ready. Are you guys ready to start phase 1 of the plan? Asked Shikamaru as the group nodded their heads. Just as the group prepared to move, a giant beam of energy flew over them and into the bay that annihilated the entire Sky Ninja fleet in an instant. What the hell was that? Asked Shikamaru as the beam had taken out Sky Ninja's entire army. I don't know, but I hope that whatever it is doesn't target Konoha, said Kakashi as the group around him nodded. Back in the Sky Fortress? Do you see? That's the full power of Sky Country. The power to obliterate anything through the power of the Anchor Vantion. Once the 5 great shinobi nations have been destroyed, the great Sky Empire shall rule the world, said Shino inside the Rabi. I've had enough of his talking. Just take my chakra and destroy him, said Kurama in Naruto's head as he funneled his chakra through Naruto's system. I got this, Sasuke, said Naruto as an orange cloak of chakra surrounded him. Naruto had 6 tails of orange chakra swaying behind him as he channeled a Rasengan. What is this? Said Shino. Why can't the Rabi absorb your chakra? Is the 9 tails that powerful? Naruto didn't answer, instead choosing to appear in front of the Rabi in a Shunshin with a Rasengan bigger than any other in his hand. Cho Otama Rasengan, Ultra Big Ball Rasengan, said Naruto as he pushed the jutsu into the Rabi. The Rabi attempted to absorb Naruto's Rasengan, but due to the sheer size of it and the fact that it was powered by Kurama's chakra, it could only take the force of Naruto's attack. Naruto's Rasengan blasted the Rabi out of the confines of that yellow substance as it was sent careening back into the wall. That was easy, said Naruto, letting his Kyuubi cloak vanish as he landed on the ground with Sasuke walking up beside him. I thought you didn't want to do all the heavy lifting? Said Sasuke as Naruto merely shrugged. Kyuubi doesn't have the patience to wait for things. He'd rather I blow everything to a million pieces. It's really a pain to hear him on Umbu missions that require stealth, said Naruto. Right before Sasuke could speak again, Shino's voice sounded out. Did you think you had one? Well, you brats don't understand a damn thing. Now that the Rabi's been released from its reins, even I don't know what's about to happen, said Shino. Rat, ox, dog, clap, boar, thought Naruto, running through those seals quickly before slamming a palm on the ground. Once Naruto slammed his palm on the ground, a sealing formula spread out from Naruto's hand to underneath the Rabi. Sasuke noticed that it had the Uzumaki swirl inside of the seal directly underneath the Rabi. Uzumaki Fuinjutsu, Uzumaki sealing technique, said Naruto as the area under the Rabi began to spark and eventually drag the Rabi into its sealing formula. That should do it. I was sick of hearing that guy talk. Sasuke stared at Naruto at seeing that he used such a technique. Forget it. I don't even care anymore about the tricks up your sleeve. I'm sure there's something else up there as well, said Sasuke as Naruto laughed sheepishly. Just wait until you see Sage Mode. Then I'll blow your mind, thought Naruto as he then said, I'm about to blow this place up. If you feel like staying, cool. If not, I'd suggest leaving because it's about to get ugly. Tajuumoku Bunshin no Jutsu, multiple wood clone technique, said Naruto as 50 Narutos now stood in the small chamber with the original Naruto and Sasuke. Get to it, guys. Why the hell do we have to listen to you? Said one of Naruto's clones as the other 49 gasped simultaneously. Did I say that out loud? I'm sorry. Naruto reverted that clone to wood as he looked at the rest of his copies. Anybody else wants to know why you should listen to me? Said Naruto as the other 49 shook their head and went off to do their duties of destroying the ship. Should we use Rasengan? asked one of the clones. Another clone shook his head. I don't really think it matters. I mean, that guy's using simple explosive notes. I think I'll just blow myself up, said the clone as he detonated, killing himself and the clone he was talking to. Sasuke and the original Naruto had both taken off to the outside of the ship as they weren't planning to stick around with the destructive clones. Upon getting outside, Naruto and Sasuke noticed a boat filled with civilians and a red-haired girl outside that boat. "Hello," said Naruto as he noticed a lever beside him. "I'm guessing that if I pull this lever you all would be sent off this ship, right?" Seeing the people on the boat nod their heads, Naruto put his hand on the lever. "Stop!" came the shout of the red-haired girl, halting Naruto from pulling the lever. "Where's my sensei? I can't find him." "Who are you?" asked Naruto.
I am Amari.
"I'm looking for my sensei, Shino. Have you seen him?" "He's a tall man with white hair and dash," started Amaru until Naruto cut her off. "Get on the ship. I'm about to blow this fortress up and you guys need to get to safety," said Naruto as Amaru looked at him with an angered look. "What? Blow up the fortress? But my sensei's body is in here. I need to get dash," started Amaru again, only to be snatched by her collar and roughly thrown back into the boat behind her. "Shut up," said Sasuke, having thrown the girl into the boat. "Your sensei was a madman and tried to kill thousands of innocent people." Amaru looked up shocked at that announcement as Naruto pulled the lever, sending the boat and the people off the ship safely. As soon as the boat got clear of the fortress, an explosion rocked the fortress that split off a huge chunk of it. "You do realize that you would have killed them had they not been already exiting the ship?" said Sasuke as Naruto put his head down in shame. Naruto then straightened up as several more explosions rang out through the fortress. "Yeah, but that didn't happen, so let's not worry about it. I'll see you in 6 months, said Naruto as he jumped off the fortress along with Sasuke. Sasuke activated the cursed seal on his neck to give himself wings to fly as Naruto plummeted at a rapid pace. Just as the two got far enough away, the entire fortress blew up thanks to the combined efforts of Naruto's clones. Naruto was still free-falling to the ground as he looked ready to splatter onto the ground below. Naruto clapped his hands together as he approached the ground. "Futon, Daitapa, wind style, great breakthrough," said Naruto, slowing his descent by creating a burst of air toward the ground. "Still too fast," said Naruto as he was still going to get hurt despite slowing his falling speed with his jutsu. "This'll hurt." Right before Naruto hit the ground, he was snagged up by the tongue of a familiar toad. "Gamabunta," said Naruto, recognizing the toad immediately. Jiraiya stood on top of his toad boss's head as he smirked at his apprentice. "Nice going, Gaki, though you could have found a better way to get off of that ship. But you were never one for the aftermath of your ingenious plans," said Jiraiya as Naruto smiled at his sensei. "Ah well, we're all safe and we've destroyed the Sky Country ninjas again," said Naruto as the anchor Vantion crumbled into the ocean in pieces due to Naruto's clone's efforts. "Ooh, boss, your grip is a little too tight. I can't get out," said Naruto, struggling to get out of Gamabunta's tongue. "I know," said Gamabunta as he looked at Naruto with an Oni mask appearing behind him. "What's this I hear from Gamatatsu that you're the one stealing all of my sake?" Naruto's look turned to one of fear as he realized why Gamabunta hadn't let him go of him yet. Gamatatsu, that treacherous toad. How could he? He's supposed to be one of my familiars. How could he turn on me like that? "You should have given the boy candy," said Gamabunta as he prepared to give Naruto divine punishment for his stolen sake. Gamabunta pulled the Tanto off his side only to notice that Naruto had replaced himself with a wooden dummy. "Get back here, boy!" shouted Gamabunta as he chased a fleeing Naruto around the small island they were on. "Oh well, Gaki, you got about another hour until his summoning time is up. That'll be good exercise and training for you," said Jiraiya as he grew a lecherous grin. Jiraiya took out what used to be Sarutobi's crystal ball. After channeling some chakra through the crystal ball, a view of the Hokage's office showed up. "Hello, Haim." Tsunade was in the process of walking out of her office after the long day and fight against the Sky Ninja. Tsunade had been told about all the casualties from the day and was saddened to see that so many of her shinobi perished. But they had all fought for their village, and she couldn't be more proud that they had finished it before any more people could be hurt or killed. Tsunade walked out of her office into the private bathroom located in the Hokage Tower. "I need a shower after today's events," said Tsunade as she took off her green haori. Tsunade was just about to take off her top when she felt a disturbance in the room around her. Tsunade looked in a specific direction as she grew angry when she realized what it was. "Oh no," said Jiraiya as he saw Tsunade looking directly at him with a sign saying she'd kill him if he didn't disrupt that connection immediately. "I think it'll be worth the impending beatdown." Jiraiya then saw Tsunade mouth the words, "It won't be worth it," and Jiraiya immediately realized that she was right. "Ah well, maybe next time," said Jiraiya, putting the crystal ball up, all the while ignoring his apprentice's screams of agony from being squished by Gamabunta. "Maybe next time."